I just found out that the founder of the cult that I was a part of just passed away. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm kind of in shock about it because I've barely been processing this for the last 5 months and realizing that this was a cult that I was a part of. I never thought I would talk about this publicly, and I only decided to because I thought it might help others. So many people don't realize that they're in a cult, they just think they're in a church. It wasn't until I watched a documentary on Netflix called How to Become a Cult Leader that I realized all the traits were so similar to the founder of the organization that I'm talking about. I found out a few days ago, but I didn't really talk about it because I really just needed to process it. Part of me is kind of angry because I feel like I didn't get to bring any closure to my personal situation with this individual. I had never gotten the nerve to have a one-on-one conversation with him about everything that happened to me, but I was thinking that maybe one day I would, but now it will never happen. So I think the reason why I feel angry right now is because I feel like this person should experience some kind of accountability for all the hurt and harm that he's not only caused to me, but to several others within his congregation and worldwide ministry. And then on the other hand, I haven't really had the chance to really think about it a lot, but the problem is that when you've come from a place where you had close-knit ties with everyone in a group, or there are certain people within that group that you've had close ties with, it's hard to just cut those ties off. And when you do, you still feel like sad when they pass away or when something happens, or you just feel still connected, if that makes sense. It's been about 18 years since I've spoken to him or anyone in his congregation and worldwide ministry. But it was only a couple of years ago that I actually unfriended people on Facebook. I hadn't talked to them in 15 or 16 years, but I still had them on my Facebook up until 2 years ago. I feel like at one point in time in my life, I really felt like these people were my family, and I felt so close to so many of them, and I saw their children grow up, and I saw their children having children, and throughout the years, I think I just watched on Facebook from a distance, and I felt still connected even though I wasn't talking to them for 15 years. I couldn't live my life for 15 years openly because I was afraid of what those people who I hadn't talked to in 15 years would think of me. For 15 years, even after I left the church, I didn't want anybody to know anything about me being a part of the LGBTQ plus community. I didn't want them to know I was a lesbian. I didn't want them to know that I got married. When one of them did find out that I was married, they sent me an email with a lot of just really mean things, and I had to cut that person off. And it was around that time that I realized that I needed to start cutting everyone off from that group of people and just remove anyone that had anything to do with that church, so that I wouldn't have to deal with any of them. In fact, Sandra, who I have spoken about before on these videos, she actually had the nerve to ask me if I got married, and she didn't know anything about me getting married. I'm thinking, how did she even know that I was, I think she saw that my name was different than it was before. But I put my middle name instead of my last name because I didn't want to put my last name on my Facebook. And because of that, she asked me if I had gotten married. Not that it was any of her business after 18 years of not speaking to me. It was then that I realized that these people still had a hold on me. There was still this lingering, control that they had over my life 18 years after I left. I mean, I'm still dealing with it. It's 18 years now, but I feel like I am still worried about what these people will think or find out about me. I get nervous that I'll run into these people if I'm out at the grocery store. Like, that I'll run into someone that I know one day, and then I'll have to, like, talk to them. Some of them are so manipulative, and that they will make me feel like I'm the one doing wrong for, you know, exposing them. Like, I'm not even saying the name of the church, but I feel like somehow I'm betraying them by talking about my experiences that I had with them all those years. But I am doing it not for myself, I'm doing it for others. And now I'm just kind of mad at myself, because I'm like, why, after all these years, why did I never confront the founder about all the things that the church did to me and all the ways that I was treated? Why did I not talk to him about that? Why did I not talk to him about the hurt and the pain that their church caused? This cult has been going on since 1967, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I know that people are still going through the same kind of hurt and pain. And the reason why I know that is because the reason why I'm even doing these videos is because I found a video from a person that was really hurt about that particular church and what they had done to her and how they had treated her and her family. And she had been exposing their lies and the fact that they are a cult. His wife is still alive, and his sons and his daughters. So all of those people are going to continue on this so-called church that is basically a cult. They've known nothing else but living in that cult. So it's like they are continuing on that legacy, that cult legacy that they've grew up in, and their children have grown up in, and now their children and their grandchildren are growing up in and becoming the leaders and the pastors as well. And they're doing it all on the back of those who were silenced, like myself. I spent close to 2 decades in silence, and I'm barely speaking out now, and I'm still not even using the actual name of this place. Maybe one day I will, maybe I won't. I don't know, but I just want to be there for those who are going through similar situations. I know this video is a little different than the ones that I've been doing, because generally I'm just sharing my story and talking about what happened to me when I was in the cult, but I didn't know that this was going to happen, and it's, I don't know, I'm just like still, I guess, processing it. I am glad to say that none of this showed up in my feed. I only found out about it because I went searching for it and someone else mentioned it. Someone that was not a part of my Facebook or a part of my life in any way, because my life is now my life, and I have separated myself completely from that cult and all of the people within it. And that's what you have to do. If you leave a church that you feel has been hurtful or harmful to you, you need to cut everyone out, because those people are just going to try to get you to go back to that church. And that's what they do. They just continually use the people within the church to convince others to come back to the church. I always thought in the beginning, like, you know what, these people are my friends before they are people from my church. So, you know, I want to hang out with the people. But generally speaking, almost every person that was in the church when I left the church, their main motivation was to get me to come back to church, not to just be my friend. Going no contact with those people that hurt you is the best thing you can do. I know it's hard and I know it hurts, but you are not alone. You can rebuild a new family around you. You don't have to stay stuck in the toxic church family that you were a part of. Staying in spiritual abuse will only harm you further, so get out. And try to delete all those people from that church that are on your social media. Get them off of your page. You don't want to know about all the great things that are happening in their lives when you're suffering. You can't move on with your life if they're still in it. I'm out of time for now, but letting go is the best thing ever.